Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician, and today we're going to be going into the Amazon tool deals and checking out some of the items that I've found for this week. These are either going to be items that I've found that are on sale, items that even at their full price or list price I believe to be good deals, or items I find interesting and would like your guys' input on if you guys have used them. All the tools that I suggest will be linked down in the description for you guys with their own independent link, so it's easy to find. And then I'll have two additional links that say tools and tools continued. That's going to take you to a long list of tools that I've went over in the past or other tools that I suggest. So that's all there for you guys. First up, we're looking at the Milwaukee 3404-20. This is the bare tool only. So this is their half-inch hammer drill driver, and this is at $65, down from a list price of $111. You can find this at other stores between $100 and $150. So at $65, it's pretty common to find these on Amazon. Now, keep in mind that a lot of the times when you purchase Milwaukee tools on Amazon, you're not going to get the warranty from my understanding. But even with that said, depending on your use with this tool, if you're a weekend warrior DIYer, or maybe even if you're a professional, getting this at half the price, almost a third of the price of what you would get it going to the big brand name stores, to me it's worth it. I bought mine in stores. I have this exact same one. I can't remember what I paid for it. It definitely was not $65, but I've had it for probably 4 or 5 years and no issues. I use it almost daily at work, 4 to 5 days a week. Not like super heavy duty use, but it gets use every single day. I've been very impressed with it, and if I could have saved $50 to $100 on it, I definitely would have done so. I don't care if the warranty goes out. At this price, I would happily, at this point, if it burnt up or stopped working, I would happily go ahead and buy another one, no problem. So while it does have the con of not carrying the warranty if you purchase a lot of these Milwaukee tools from Amazon, or at least their power tools, at some point when you get a really good deal on something, sometimes it's worth it. Now, granted, if you get this on sale at a store, maybe $100 or $90, then yeah, I can understand buying that for the warranty, especially if you use it all the time and you're afraid, like heavy duty use, maybe you're dropping it from a ladder, things like that, then I can definitely see wanting to get the one with the warranty. But in my case of work, even when I use it every single day, it's not super heavy duty use, and I'm not dropping it from 10 feet or more or anything like that. I don't have to worry about things like that. I would happily save the money going this route. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Would you buy it for a really good deal without the warranty, as long as the tool's new and unused, at a great price? Or would you spend 2 to 3 times more to get that warranty? Obviously, I believe it's going to depend on the work that you do, just personal preference sometimes. But 4.8 stars, 883 ratings. I think this is a fantastic deal, and you can find not all, but some of the Milwaukee tools on Amazon for a really good price and new and unused. So it'd be different if they were like rebuilt or a used return or something like that, but a lot of these are just really good deals for a new bare tool. So once again, just let me know your guys' thoughts. I think it's a great deal. Here we're looking at the Fujiya flush cuts. This is the set that I have. Now these are $29, so they're a little bit more expensive than a lot of your other flush cuts. You can get some as low as like $5 or $6, which is fine. I have extremely cheap Play-Doh ones all the way up to some really, really high-end ones. I really like these. There are a couple others similar to it now, made in Taiwan though. These are made in Japan. I have quite a few Fujiya tools. Extremely impressed with their quality. All of my Japan tools are very high-end, good quality tools. Never had an issue with them. But these I came across a few years back and hadn't seen anything like them before. Not just are they flush cuts, but they have metal tabs here screwed onto the back. You can see the metal plate. It's kind of got a design that comes up behind the flush cuts, and basically when you go to cut the end off of that zip tie, those little metal fingers basically just spread out but stay gripped over the portion that you cut off. So instead of having zip tie ends fly over all over in the engine bay or whatever, getting lost or ending up places that you don't want them to be, this holds onto them until you release the handles. So I think it's a fantastic set. I use mine all the time, especially when I'm working in the engine bay down in areas that are really, really hard to reach. I can get down there, still clip the zip tie, and I don't have to worry about digging around trying to find the end of the zip tie or just leaving it down there. So I find these really, really helpful. And like I said, there are a couple other brands that have like nylon inserts that kind of do the same thing, but I feel like this is the best design that I've seen, and I personally own, have been very, very pleased with. Sometimes you can find these closer to the $25 price range, but even at this price, for the quality of tool that you're getting here, I think it's a great set, one to consider. This has 4.3 stars at 25 ratings, and for the longest time, these weren't on Amazon. I constantly searched for them, but I couldn't find them on Amazon. But I finally found them, and they'll fluctuate in pricing. So just keep your eye on them if you don't want to spend the almost $30 on them now. You can probably find them anywhere from $23 to $26 when they're on sale. Definitely one to consider if you're looking for a good quality set of flush cuts with an additional feature of catching those zip ties. Here's a Vessel product that I didn't know they had. I own quite a few Vessel screwdrivers of different designs and a couple other Vessel products, but I didn't know they had wire strippers, and they have a couple different designs as well. This is kind of more your standard, commonly seen wire stripper design, and it is just a wire stripper and cutter. It's not a crimper or anything like that. You do have your portions for cutting M3 and M4 screws, and then you have your stripping portion. It is in millimeters, and then you have your gripping teeth up front. Now, I'm not sure, I know they have a couple different sets of wire strippers, and one of them does have the American wire gauge size on the backside. I don't know if this is one of them. Right here you can only see it in metric, but the American wire gauge size, I believe, is included on some of their sets. But this is at just under $25, 4.3 stars at 101 ratings. But once again, this is another product made in Japan. It does state it right here, as you can see right there. They are spring loaded. You can remove the spring. Once again, I'm sure anybody that's done wiring or has wire strippers has seen a design like this. It's nothing different. But one thing I will say again is that when it comes to just their pliers or any of their cutting, like their side cutters, diagonal side cutters, flush cuts, things like that, they are very sharp and have held up extremely well. So I would expect pretty high-end quality from this. Once again, this isn't one that I have personal experience with, but I do have a lot of experience with Japan Tools, Vessel, Fujiya, and many others that I've been very, very pleased with. So this isn't one that I would be afraid of purchasing. Here's another one. Here we go. So this shows the American wire gauge chart compared to the metric that you see up here, so you can kind of compare the sizes so you know what you're working with. But really, a lot of the times I can just gauge the wire by eyesight and know what size I need to use to strip that wire. But if you do need it, it's kind of nice that it's there. This one is at $25.80, down from a typical price of $34.53, so a little bit of savings there. But once again, just your standard design, but I think it's definitely worth a look if you're looking for a quality pair. Last up is the Koken offset extension bar set. So if you guys are looking for a quality set of Wobble Plus extensions, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Koken is the original maker of the Wobble Plus extension kind of design. I think they actually designed it before Snap-on. If anybody knows for sure, please drop a comment down below. It's been a while since I did my research on that. But $92, definitely not cheap, but if you're looking for quality, Koken is definitely one of them to consider. When it comes to kind of the Wobble Plus extension design, there are many others. Back in the day, like, you only had a couple options to choose from, and they weren't cheap. Then when a lot of the other brands started coming out with them, you could really get some cheap ones, Harbor Freight, things like that. But they just didn't work the same. with the Wobble Plus extension. And then there were those that just came out with Wobble extensions, not the Wobble Plus. It was either you had your standard style extension or you had a Wobble extension. This was nice because you had both features on one extension. And when the cheaper brands kind of started coming out with them, they just didn't work well. Most of them didn't work well. When you wanted it as a standard extension and the socket not to move, a lot of them would simply move forward too easily and basically move into that wobble position, and it just kind of got annoying, and it didn't hold real well in either position. Some of them turned out to be pretty decent, a lot of them not, and it all had to do with basically how much material they were leaving there for the socket to actually sit on, this squared off portion at the base. And then another thing was the retention with the ball and the shape of this end, all determined on how well that socket held onto there. And a lot of them just didn't work well. And this is the same design as the Snap-on, and I have the Snap-on, and I know a lot of people with Koken tools that have been very, very pleased and would recommend these over them. And while $92 definitely is not cheap, once again, if you're looking for a quality set that is going to work how it's intended to work, I think this is a great option. This has 4.8 stars at 60 ratings. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. If you guys have any experience with any of these tools, please feel free to let me know how you've enjoyed them, or maybe you didn't enjoy them, down in the comments. Once again, all of these will be linked down in the description for you guys. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.